Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Well, today's article has to do with the elections in France between Macron and Le Pen. It's going to be a runoff election. There are the two candidates who got the most votes, and they will come in front of the electorate and they will be voted and see who's going to win democratically. So this it's not really about the election, it's about how the candidates are portrayed and labeled by the mass media in order to form an opinion that sometimes is stretched or not even there. And also how you can label a far right candidate as a or a leftist candidate as a far right candidate, even though it um, has left-leaning ideology and platform, but you still call the person far right. And if you would use the same logic, you would have to call some other people far right. And I will just discuss that. So it's an article from Associated Press from April 15th, 2022, and it says here in France's election, a divide opens over religious slaughter. All right, so the first line goes like this of this article. French far-right presidential candidate Marine Le Pen is alarming both Muslims and Jews in France with a pledge to regulate the ritual slaughter of animals if elected. Le Pen frames her measures as an effort to end animal suffering. She wants animals to be stunned first, after then they can be slaughtered. But Jews and Muslims who, for religious reasons, eat meat from animals that aren't stunned before slaughter, said they feel targeted. So the issue is one of the many fault lines between Le Pen and incumbent President Emmanuel Macron, and the starkly different visions of France they are presenting for next Sunday's election runoff vote. Okay, well, let's unpack all this. So Le Pen is for it is against animal cruelty. That's a left-leaning idea, and I'm expecting PETA, protection animals, to intervene and support Le Pen first. Secondly, I should hear feminists supporting Le Pen as well because she's a woman; she knows best, right? That's how we're told, at least here. Then we have with religious liberty, which is usually a conservative idea. Here, she seems to try to limit the religious liberties, which is a left-leaning ideology. So where is she far right? The only thing that she's considered far right is because she has some, how should I put it, ethnic, racial ideas that she doesn't probably believe in. She believes in, not probably, she believes in French people from France, globalization wrong, all this NATO wrong. And so she has this kind of ideas, and therefore she is labeled far right because she's close to the guy from the 30s and early 40s, 1930s and 1940s in Germany. So that goes and gets her a bad connotation. But if we judge far right only by that, because I know her platform, political platform, is very leftist, with providing subsidies to French citizens for various programs, social programs. It's a leftist thing, not a right-leaning. So the only thing is that she's for French, she's a nationalist. So that, therefore, if she's a nationalist, she's a far right. Okay, if she's far right, then, and if that's the measure we assess a person, if it's far right or not, then we could mention, for instance, uh, Gandhi. Gandhi was a nationalist. So was he a far right? Um, And then we also have Nelson Mandela. He was a nationalist. Was he a far right? So you see, we have two nationalists who are not called far right or extremists that held ideas, some of them even more right, like Gandhi, for instance, and actually Mandela than Le Pen regarding races and so on. And some of these people even used, should I say, terrorism. And that's well known that one of these people that I mentioned actively participated in, in South African activities, and he was imprisoned not because he fought the white man, but mostly because his organization was linked with other organizations, and they were using some bombs and other things to create a certain kind of state in society that's equaling. Anyway, it's not about those two people; it's about these two people. So then we go to the other aspect here. It says, okay, for religious reasons, we have two groups of people living in France, and in this case, Jews and Muslims, and French people, French citizen. I'm sorry, French citizens, and they have their particularities, their religious particularities. And I would like to ask, for instance, I have here a little list I went through. I would like to ask this 20 famous French people that changed the world, what would be their opinion or take on, stunning or not stunning animals before you slaughter them. See what they would say. And I would start with Jeanne d'Arc. I would continue with René Descartes, or Descartes. Then I would go with King Louis the 14th, Voltaire, Marie Antoinette, Maximilien Robespierre, Napoleon Bonaparte, Victor Hugo, Marie Curie. I will go with Charles de Gaulle, Jean-Paul Sartre. I will not go with Monet because I don't know about that guy. I would go with Claude Debussy. I would go with Gustave Eiffel. I would go with about that. And I would ask these famous people, French people, if they're okay with that. And I think they would be like, what? What is that? What do you mean? Who? What? Where? In France? Oh, okay. I never heard. I'm pretty sure they would be like, what? I want to tell you why. There are some religious and cultural trends, let's say, in a certain religion. I can't mention names or anything. That let's say, not let's say, has no problem with child marriage, if you know what I mean, or with the caste system. And that's based on not only a cultural thing, it's a religious thing as well. So if, let's say, a community of those members of that kind of religious and cultural, community, they become, they move to France and they become French citizens and they practice their religious, the cultural thing. And then what is the French government going to do with these French citizens that would be okay with minor arranged marriages, for instance, or let's say as far as 10-year-old, 11-year-old, or would they be okay with, for instance, with a caste system in those communities in the Republic of France or France? What if you have a religious practice of genital mutilation? Would that still accepted? Because I know it's not accepted in Africa when you have female genital mutilation, but we have male genital mutilation by religious standard and medical now without the person's consent, by the way, because you do it when you're a baby. They claim now for sanitary or hygienic reasons and medical reason that's better. Then I don't know, God must have been wrong providing us with that little extra piece down there. And that's a covenant between, God and a certain person a long time ago, right? and it was not anything about being medical or anything like that. So how would you do that? Where you do accept those uh, religious and cultural particularities brought in by some other religions foreign to French, I don't know, whatever Catholicism they have, um, Catholics, I think, yeah, they are, then what would you do? And then say, okay, we have this, they are French now, they're French citizens, they have this different particularities and religious practices, we just let them be. If yes, okay, what if you have a religion who engages in cannibalism, for instance? Now they have a ritual where they eat one another, or they eat, I don't know, the third child of the family. Would that be acceptable? Will the French culture be okay with that? All those people that I mentioned there would say, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We always had that in France. So yes, no problem." So you see, then we got, let's say, some Japanese move or some English citizens move to France, and after a while they become French citizens, so they are French, and then they say, well, in my culture we drive on the left side of the road as a Japanese or an English guy. So are you targeting us because you make it mandatory to drive on the right side of the road? I mean, I think you're targeting us on target our culture. You're not sensitive enough. Okay, so what if tomorrow I have a religion who, I know, gouges one eye out because adultery, or I know they use stones, for instance, to kill someone for adultery, and that's their religious practice. When do you draw the line? And what is, may I say, French culture, and what is something new, adding, improving the French culture? That's great. I don't want to insult French people whatsoever, but from outside it looks like a lot of contradictions and a mishmash. And I know. I will end by, uh, and that's a joke. Okay, this guy was a bad guy, bad dude. His name is Arthur Schopenhauer. He was a German. Oh no, German philosopher, and he had some naughty ideas here and there, but he's nevertheless a very famous and very important philosopher. And he said this, that, every continent on the planet has, was referring of, monkeys, but he said, by compensation, Europe has French people. That's a joke, okay? It's a joke. This is what the guy said. So he didn't like French people. That's what he meant. But he said every continent has, the monkeys. Only Europe doesn't have monkeys, but he said by compensation we have French people. So there was a joke. I don't get too upset. All right. I'm just using it by what Arthur Schopenhauer said it. So if you have a problem, dig him out or dig him up and talk to him face to face. All right. Thank you for being with me again today. Um, Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you in a moment. We have a lot of news here.